Welcome back to Wickerson Studios. My name's Michael Wickerson, and I am on to absolute magic and gold with this data science in ghPython. I'm looking at the ONELINERS Python scripting book, and I am translating that into some beautiful custom objects. And I think multi-dimensional arrays. You'll see that I have them in my. I just have to move down these scripts because I was playing with all three of these. I think I have in here. Now I should have multi-dimensional arrays. Actually, I should probably call this something else. So hang on a second. I'm going to redo this. This one is actually, and we'll take a look at it to start, and I'm not going to worry too much. Let's close out the other two for now. Yeah, I'll save it. So I have the custom objects that I'm working on. I am running this script in an organization of basic one-liners, the intermediate level, looking at NumPy, Pandas, Scikit, Learn, and TensorFlow. And right here I have the ghPython remote. And you can go back to the last videos to see how I made that and imported NumPy so I can run through those linked modules. And those linked modules are coming right down and working in all of these Python scripts. So here's one that I'm actually starting to make a one-dimensional array in preparation for doing arithmetic. And the script is pretty simple. I've written some data here. NumPy, and it's right out of the text, is wildly important library for numerical computations and data science. Arrays hold data that you want to manipulate, analyze, and visualize, and you can make multi-dimensional arrays. If they're more than two axis, then if they have two axis, then they're two-dimensional arrays. So we're going to make a 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to show you how I make my user objects for those as well, because you can do this for yourself. Creating a one-dimensional array is much faster because it uses less memory. And here's the script. You just need the NumPy module, and you use the array method or function, and then I'm just going to print it. And I have it set up parametrically so I can change that array, and you'll see it comes up without columns. It actually comes up in preparation for being a simpler, faster array. And so you don't see the commas in here, but you'll realize what you're actually making are these very complex 1, 2, and 3-dimensional arrays. So that's how you make the first one. What I'm going to do there is just click on that one, go over here, use my user objects. I'll call this one one-liner, and we'll call it one-dimensional arrays array. And we'll call that 003 because we're into the 003 script on this intermediate level. And I think what I should also do is call this intermediate. I think it comes up as intermediate. It doesn't need to be listed as one. It's going to fall in the intermediate category, so that should be fine. I have a lot of information I'm trying to share, and I'm trying to be repetitive enough that it makes sense. I like to put it in the description. I like to use my own logo, and I like to customize that to a nice color. I should probably change the color to something a little more dangerously beautiful blue. Let's go to blue for intermediate and red for the advanced, which should be fine. So let's just do that. And there it is. Oh, and I messed up my colors. So now you have these intermediate colors. Well, the first two were just tests, so we'll stay with that. There it is. So you can grab that node and bring it in here. And as soon as you bring it in, you can plug that over, plug this one over, bring in your data. And it's a little jumbly here. Get rid of that Python one, and now we have running a nice one-liner, one-dimensional array script with a ghPython custom node from Wickerson Studios. Now the next one is doing a 2D array, and that's not too much harder. You just have to come in here, and once again, but this is creating a 2D array from a list of lists. So anybody who's gotten into data trees, they find this pretty interesting. Now I'm able to generate without columns this beautiful list of lists. Tucked in and just make a wonderful array. So we're thinking in arrays now, away from lists, which is nice because that sets you up for C# and what arrays might entail in there. And I'm not sure how this is going to translate. I never got into arrays this deep in C#. So you can adjust this, and you can play with all of those. I've got them on the high end here, and you can see that changes and updates. So once again, let's take that. Let's make another user object. Let's call this one one-liners. And we don't have to call it intermediate, but what do we call the last one? So we'll call this 2. I don't know if we call it create dimensional array. That's fine. And we'll give it 004. And we'll just grab that. Sorry, this is a little tedious, a little bit of waste of your time. I appreciate your time, and I know you appreciate it more than me, but this might be something that you want to do. It's kind of cool. And we'll put that into the blue for intermediate. And there we go. We've got another one that pops up as long as it's two-dimensional array. You bring it over, you start to use it. Why I do these and I don't compile them is because I'm not trying to hide any information from people on my Patreon. I'm not trying to, it'd be nice to make $3 for everybody that likes to do what I'm doing a month, and then I'd have thousands of copies. No, I'd have like 6 copies. I don't have a lot of Patreons. But there we go. That two-dimensional array is running. You can see it's coming out of a list. This is coming out as a list. This is coming out still as a list. And it's not reading as a tree, as list of lists, because it's actually putting out a list as an array. So that's kind of interesting to think about. So let's close that one up. Oop, and sometimes it jams up on me. And then the last one is creating a three-dimensional array, and here it is. And how's that script done? And the real key on this, when you look at it, is what are you doing? And you're doing something pretty amazing. You are creating a 3D array. 3D array from a list of lists of lists. And you'll note that it's faster in memory. So you set it up like that. You can import it. You can play with that. You can change it. Take that to the high end. And with that, it's up and running. Let's do our little user object. Keep this one moving fast. One-liners. We'll call it 3D array and 3. I like small letters. Well, maybe I didn't do it on the last one. Try to be consistent and use camel case. Is it Pascal case or camel case? I think it's camel case. Dimensional array, and we'll call that one 005. I think we called the last one 003 as well, which might be a problem. But I can't remember. 003, 004, 005. Oh, who knows? It's hard to keep track of everything when you're doing a multitude of things, but I don't mind it. This is the reason I do these series is not so much to, try and market everything and get rich. Believe me, that's not happening. But I am doing it to learn these things and see where it goes for me. So there's our last one. That should be the two-dimensional array. It stays in alphabetical order. It's kind of hard to find things if you don't categorize them, but I'm really just doing the basics. And I may never use these user objects again. But for anybody trying to learn or has students or wants to pass these on or get people to have files, the reason I put them in my own note is just because we are starting to customize things. So there we go. All those scripts are running 1, 2, 3-dimensional arrays, and they're running beautifully because of, oops, I'll shrink that. They're running beautifully because Grasshopper will let you import with that remote ghPython library. So I hope this actually comes in handy and you find it useful, and I will keep moving and we'll actually begin doing some of our arithmetic. We will be adding arrays, we will be minusing arrays, we'll be multiplying arrays, and we will be dividing arrays in the very next section. But keep in mind, you're going to have to get in and learn the system, how to get up and running this. And I still have some problems on here that I haven't quite figured out. I'm having trouble with other modules, but since it's working for NumPy, I'm going to go as far as I can until I hit a snag. And like any programmer, you plug through it. You get online, you ask other people. Everybody's very helpful. It's very open source. This is the era of computers, and we're all working on the same human project. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Thanks for watching.